Do you ever wonder why you feel the need to control everything? Why you struggle to let go, and why you feel so anxious when things don't go the way that you planned? If you grew up parentified or with dysfunctional family dynamics, this need to control isn't just a habit or out of wanting to be a dictator, right? It's a survival mechanism, one that's deeply rooted in your past. And while it once protected you, it's now keeping you trapped. In fact, it may keep you very stressed, right? But the reality is, you don't have to live like this. There is hope, and today we're going to explore how to start letting go. Let's go back for a moment, back to when you were a child. In your home, chaos might have been the norm, and maybe you had a parent who was emotionally unpredictable, or perhaps you were the one expected to step in and handle things no child should handle. So you learned that if you could just keep everything under control, if you could anticipate everyone's needs and prevent every conflict and keep things running smoothly, then, just maybe, you would feel safe. But the cost of that was heavy, wasn't it? You had to grow up fast. You became the caretaker, the fixer, the peacemaker, and along the way, you taught yourself that the only way to feel secure was to control everything around you, because you couldn't rely on the judgment of the adults that were there. And underneath your need for control, there is a deep fear. There's a fear of being blindsided or returning to that helplessness that you felt growing up. And maybe there's a part of you that still believes that if you don't take care of everything, no one will. Or perhaps you carry this quiet belief that the world isn't safe and it's up to you to make it manageable. And that's heavy. It's no wonder you feel exhausted and anxious and sometimes even resentful. You have been carrying responsibilities that were never meant to be yours. Does this sound familiar? Are you the one who double checks everything at work because you don't trust anyone else to get it done right? And you cannot relax at home because there's always something to be done. Or maybe you feel this overwhelming anxiety when plans change or when people don't follow through the way that you expected, right? You take yourself very seriously. However, everyone else is not reciprocating. It feels like if you don't hold everything together, it'll all fall apart. And that's a lonely, exhausting, and terrifying way of living. But it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to carry this heavy weight anymore. And that need for control is not who you are. It's something you learned. And that means it's something you can unlearn. So how do you start letting go? How do you move from control to trust? Here are some 3 simple but powerful steps that you can start taking today. Number 1 is to understand where it comes from. When you notice yourself trying to control a situation, pause and ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I let go? Often it's not about the situation at hand, it's about old wounds and fears from your past. Number 2, challenge the belief that it's all your responsibility. Repeat this to yourself, I am not responsible for everyone and everything. It might feel uncomfortable at first because you've been carrying this belief for so long, but with practice, you can start to realize that the world doesn't crumble and you can step back and allow everyone else to live their own journey and grow. Number 3, start small. Practice letting go in low-risk situations. Maybe allow someone else to plan a trip or handle a project their way. See how it feels and remind yourself that it is okay for things to be imperfect. I once worked with someone that identified herself as the CEO of her family. She managed everyone's problems, everyone's finances, and she also mediated her siblings' conflicts. She would tell herself, if I don't do it, then who will? But beneath her control was a scared little girl who had grown up too fast, who never got to feel supported. Through our work together, she began to let go little by little. She practiced asking for help and saying no and trusting that others could take care of themselves. And you know what happened? She not only survived, she thrived. And you don't have to hold it together anymore either. The safety you have been chasing through control, it's already within you. You are allowed to rest, you are allowed to let go, and you are allowed to trust. Trust yourself, trust others that feel safe, and trust that the world will not fall apart when you're not in control. You have carried so much for so long, and it's time to start putting some of it down. And if you're looking for support, I invite you to join us at our Self-Worth Hub. It's a community where you will find tools, guidance, encouragement from people who genuinely get it, because you deserve to heal from your past and find the healing and freedom you deserve. I will see you in the next video. Subscribe so that you don't miss any healing and growth tips. And please remember your resilience.